Hello friends, and welcome to today's video where we're going to talk about I-DLE's I Feel album. So I got out a copy of their debut I because I can, and I have it. Plus I never put away my I-DLE albums when I did my history of I-DLE, so they're all just sitting in a stack right next to me. So I just grabbed one off the top, and it happened to be this one. That's why it's this album, if we're being honest. Anyway, just to go over how this is going to work. I'm going to run through the track list, give you my thoughts on each song, and then give the album a score out of 10 at the end. However, I do have some disclaimers before we continue. Disclaimer number 1. I have heard this album once so far. It just came out around 5 hours ago as of me filming this, so I am one listening, and my opinions on these songs very much might change over time. Second disclaimer is my standard one. Everything I say in this video is just my opinion. You do not have to agree with my opinion because, as the mug always says, music is subjective, and that is great. Alrighty, let's get started. And right off the bat, we have the title track Queen card, and I actually kind of like this song. I don't love it, and there's definitely parts of it that I don't like, but for the most part, I did enjoy this song, which is more than I can say for their 2022 titles. Let's start with what I actually enjoyed, though. The first verse is excellent, and the second verse is good too. Plus, I really like the pre-chorus. The real issue arises with the chorus. It's a bit too much for me, especially the repetitive part. I really didn't like that. That said, I could absolutely see myself just loving this song at a future date in the way that, like, I'll just wake up one day, decide that I love it, and just Stockholm myself into loving it. So for now, I'm gonna say that I don't like the chorus, but that opinion might change. Big picture though, this is not the worst I-DLE title, but it's definitely not the best. And in fact, if you were to look at like their pre-2022 title, it's probably pretty far down there. So it's not bad, but it's definitely not their best work. Next up, we have the pre-release Allergy, and I love it. I love it. It's like punk pop perfection to me, and it just hits so perfectly. But let's discuss. Just starting with the opener, it's giving, plus the verses slap, the pre-chorus is great, and the background music doesn't do too much, which is more than I can say for some other more recent I-DLE releases. However, if you ask me, the best part is definitely the chorus. This chorus is everything I could have ever asked for without even knowing what I was wanting, because it's giving punk pop perfection, which is my ultimate weakness at this point in my life, so I can't help but love it. To summarize, I adore this song. I feel like it's a little cheap for me to call it my favorite song just because I've heard it a few more times, but also, it's great. I love it, and I'm not sorry, and I wish it was the main title. Moving on, our next song is Lucid, and it's pretty good. I will concede, verses aren't really doing that much, and I kind of hate the second half of the pre-chorus though. That said, I really like the chorus, and the first half of the pre-chorus completely hits. However, I have nothing to say beyond that, so we're going to keep going. Our next song is All Night, and it's great. I really like it. It's definitely a chill banger type of moment because it's pretty toned down, especially for I-DLE in 2023. Very toned down for them, but it also still manages to slap. Like, the verses are great. I really enjoy them. Plus, the pre-chorus is good too, and the background music is one of my favorites on this album. The best part of this song, though, if you ask me, is definitely the chorus. It manages to hit to just the right extent without going too far, but still, like, I was jamming. Plus, I normally don't like overly repetitive choruses. I've said this before. Something about it here works. I don't understand why, but I'm also not going to complain. We have reached the penultimate song, which is Miss Paradise, and I knew from the first second I was going to love this song, and I was right. I adored it. For starters, this is my favorite background music on this album. I don't know why, don't ask me, I couldn't explain it. However, there's just something about it that has me obsessed. The rest of the song is great too. The verses are really nice, the pre-chorus is very pretty, and the chorus is just stunning. Plus, Soyeon's rap doesn't feel out of place in a more vocally based song like this. That is my biggest pet peeve in the world, so I'm glad that it didn't feel out of place here. Last but not least is a Peter Pan, and I'm not going to call this our obligatory ballad of the album because it's not really a ballad, but it's definitely the most ballady song, at least if you ask me. And honestly, it's fine. It's not bad, it's kind of just a song and I wasn't all that into it. Which is kind of a problem just because this is your closing song. I have a thing about closing songs. I want them to make me feel a very specific kind of way, and while I can accept closing songs that make me feel other kinds of ways, if your closing song is just kind of there, that's never ideal. Alrighty, it's score time, and overall, I'm gonna give this album an 8.7 out of 10. I will say this is probably my favorite post-2022 GIDLE album, and I mean definitely, because there's actually a song in my Apple Music from it. However, as far as like GIDLE albums in general go, it's not their best. I think they peaked a lot earlier in their career in terms of their music. This album, while it is still quite good, don't get me wrong, there's only one or two songs that I really loved, but it's still like a good album. So yeah, 8.7 out of 10. And that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment your thoughts on this album down below. Let me know what your favorite song is. You can also like and subscribe if you want to, or don't. I will be okay either way. And if you want to hear more from me, you can follow me on Twitter at @reviews. I'll link that in the description along with every other GIDLE review that I've done and my history of GIDLE that I posted like 2 weeks ago. I basically just sit down and I run through the entire history of GIDLE. It's like an hour long. You can check all that out in the description if you so choose. But yeah, thank you again for watching. Bye!